for him or any other one calling for interim administration, we are calling on the General Police to arrest all of them because nobody is above the law. You cannot plunge Nigeria to war and you say you want to rule that country. We, Labour Party, we are saying capital no to such evil call by Peter Obi that Alhaji Apapa should not be sworn in. I don't know, the reason for him, but as far as I am concerned, we came third in that election behind the PDP. But today in the election petition tribunal, we are not challenging PDP that came second. And that means we are saying that the vote allocated to PDP is correct in the eyes of the law. But the PDP that Obi is defending is now challenging the validity of the election that brought Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu into power. I mean, as a president-elect. PDP is saying, oh, I score the lawful majority vote. Labour Party is saying, no, the vote you have, we are not even challenging because it's in accordance with what we believe in. So that was why he excluded deliberately with Abure, excluded the People Democratic Party after their shenanigans with them. He was now challenging the result of APC. So how on earth will he not cover his eyes in shame for excluding PDP? Why must you not challenge the second person? You are challenging the first. So what is he trying to do? He's trying to play a run-up between PDP and APC. As far as we are concerned, Obi is not doing anything in the election petition. He's only trying to, play on people's intelligence. But most of what I met in this politics, we are wiser. So for him to call just we have said, anyone henceforth calling for establishment of interim administration, treating fire and peace in Nigeria, threatening the peace of Nigeria, conducting themselves, in a manner that is likely to contribute of peace, they should be arrested. They are not members of the Labour Party. These are the people I call obedient. So if Obi fall into that category, if Abure, the Sovereign National Chairman, fall into that category, that remains their name. But as we are concerned, every obedient, which I believe Obi must have learned a lesson, he must never be seen calling for an interim administration. Supposing he's the one that won, how will he feel if Asiwaju Bola and Atiku are calling for interim administration? If they said no, follow the due process, he must just not be appropriating and reprobating. He is in the tribunal with Labour Party. Fine. Let us pursue our case. Once we believe there is only a Labour Party tribunal that can give for justice.
People of Kaduna State, and indeed Nigeria, to know that contrary to the public announcements and apparent good intentions, this policy was conceived and sold to the president by officials who completely lost out in the gubernatorial and presidential primaries of the APC in June 2022. Once Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as the candidate in June 2022 and subsequently did not pick one of them as his running mate, this currency redesign policy was conceived to ensure that the APC presidential candidate is deprived of what they allege is a humongous war chest. They also sought to achieve any one or more of the following objectives. Number one, to create a nationwide shortage of cash so that citizens are incited to vote against APC candidates across the board, resulting in massive losses for the party in all the elections. Number two, ensure that the cash crunch is so serious, along with the contrived and enduring fuel shortage existing since September 2022, that the 2023 elections do not hold at all, leading to an interim national government to be led by a retired army general. And number three, sustain the climate of shortage of fuel, food and other necessities, leading to mass protests, violence and breakdown of law and order that will provide a fertile foundation for a military takeover. In the pursuit of these objectives, the Central Bank of Nigeria and these other disgruntled federal officials have so far convinced the president that it is fine for ordinary citizens to be dispossessed of their hard-earned money.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria on February 25th, 2023. Now, the issue at stake right now is the Labour Party faction call for the arrest of Peter Obi, the flag bearer of the party for the election, over alleged call for interim government and stoppage of the swearing in or inauguration of the INEC declared president-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress. Now, as a result of the leadership crisis rocking the Labour Party, the Bashir Lamidi Apapa-led faction of the party has declared that nothing can stop the inauguration of the president-elect Bola Tinubu as the next president of Nigeria on May 29th. The faction also called on the Nigerian military, the Inspector General of Police, and the DSS to arrest anyone, including the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, that's their party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, agitating for an interim government. The Lamidi Apapa faction further called that any other person moving or clamoring to stop the transition process and the inauguration of President-elect Bola Tinubu on May 29th should be arrested and prosecuted, no matter his or her status in society. This call was made by the National Secretary of the Lamidi Apapa-led faction, Abayomi Arabambi, while fielding questions with journalists after the Federal Capital Territory High Court reaffirmed Lamidi Apapa as acting national chairman of the party. Abayomi Arabambi also stated that if the party's legal team at the Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja failed to meet Lamidi Apapa in his capacity as the national chairman and brief him on the legal proceedings within 48 hours, the faction will appoint new lawyers to take over Labour Party's case at the tribunal. He said that if anyone calls for interim government or interim administration, including Peter Obi, they should be arrested. For him or any other person calling for such, we are calling on the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, to immediately arrest them because nobody is above the law of the land. According to him, you cannot plunge Nigeria into war and say that you want to rule the country. We in the Labour Party are saying capital no to that. We don't understand the call by Peter Obi that the president-elect Bola Tinubu should not be sworn in on May 29th. As far as we are concerned, the Labour Party came third in the election behind the PDP. Abayomi Arabambi also added, he said, the irony is that today the Labour Party is not challenging the PDP that came second. That means we are saying that the votes allocated to PDP is correct in the eyes of the law. But the PDP that Peter Obi is defending is challenging the validity of the election that brought Bola Tinubu as the president-elect. He stressed that PDP is claiming that it scored the highest lawful majority votes in the election, while the Labour Party is saying, no, the votes you have, we are not challenging it because it is in accordance with what we believe in. That was why Peter Obi, with Julius Abure, deliberately excluded the PDP after the shenanigans with them and now challenging the result of the APC. So how on earth will he not cover his face in shame for excluding the PDP? Why must he not challenge the second person but challenging the first person? He said. He opined that those who are calling for interim administration, where there is a president-elect, are not true obedience, but obedience, because nobody who is a genuine politician will want to see the country plunge into crisis. Now I'm going to tell you my take on this rambling by Arabambi and co in the faction led by Apapa. But before I do that, if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, you see, the Holy Book said that my people perish for lack of knowledge. Abayomi Arabambi, who claimed to be the spokesperson of Labour Party, of course from the faction of Apapa, has just exhibited his ignorance. And I hope that somebody will share this video until he sees it, so that he will realize that he just exposed his ignorance before the whole world. Why did I say that? I say this because he was questioning why Peter Obi is not challenging the votes of the PDP, and is challenging the votes allocated to PDP and votes allocated to APC. And I even like the fact that he was talking about allocation. It's like he's not even, allocation means this INEC deliberately allocated those votes. So that was his word, that Peter Obi is not challenging the votes allocated to PDP, but it's challenging the vote allocated to APC. It's not that they genuinely earned it, but they were just allocated to them. Now, first of all, for the ignorances that think like Arabambi, let us look at what are the grounds upon which the conduct or outcome of an election may be questioned. Now let us look at the condition in which an election can be questioned. And this is found in section 134(1) of the Electoral Act 2022, which provides as follows. An election may be questioned on any of the following grounds. 1. A person whose election is questioned was at the time of the election not qualified to contest the election. You can see from that number A, 1A, a person whose election is questioned was at the time of the election not qualified to contest the election. Whose election is being questioned in this case? The person whose election is being questioned is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress. The election that is being questioned is not the election of Alhaji Apapa, the presidential candidate of PDP. So there is no way that if Peter Obi had gone to court and questioned the votes allocated to Atiku Abubakar, who didn't win the election, the justices of the court will just throw it into the well. They will just fold the paper and throw it into the dustbin, because it's not in line with the Electoral Act under the condition which an election could be questioned. You can see how Arabambi just exposed his ignorance. And you can see how he was talking with straight face. He was talking like a street tout. Because why only a street tout would not go and study the reason why something as sensitive as who to sue in an election will come out and say that why are they not suing PDP and their presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar when they were not the ones that won the election. And based on the conditions given by the Electoral Act on Section 134, on the conditions to challenge the outcome of an election, it is the winner you challenge. The process of his winning is very clear. What he exhibited is kind of mentality people are saying, why should somebody who came third in INEC declare the results be saying that he is the one that won the election, and that Atiku, who came second, is not even saying that. Of course, they are lying, because Atiku even also said that he is the one that won the election, that he has majority of the valid votes in his own petition. So this kind of ignorance, people who are said claimed to be party leaders are exhibiting before the public and before the world. Okay, Peter Obi that came to Kubi by rate tabulation of the whole results can move to first position rightly, unlike the questionable movement of Hope Uzodinma of Imo State from fourth position to first position that people used to reference whenever they want to talk about their lack of faith in Nigerian judiciary. So people who saw that of Imo State and celebrated it are now asking, why should somebody who came third claim that he won the election? But also the man who came fourth in the Imo election was able to claim that he came first, and the Supreme Court granted him. So you can see the ignorance that Arabambi exhibited before the whole world, that Peter Obi ought to have sued PDP and questioned the vote of the PDP. When PDP didn't win the election, Atiku didn't win the election based on the INEC declared result. So that takes care of Arabambi's rambling about that Atiku Abubakar was not sued. That means that Peter Obi is saying that PDP's vote is valid, but only APC's vote. You can imagine a situation where even APC, a Labour Party man, claimed spokesperson, is fighting for the APC. And that was why people initially said it, that the essence of the power tussle in Labour Party was just to stop Peter Obi's petition from being heard, or to damage it in such a way that Peter Obi will not get justice from the courts, using the insiders or party by dividing the party. Okay, and the RMB has just confirmed it, that they were out there to scuttle the petition of Peter Obi, but they are not going to succeed despite whatever they are doing, because from my understanding of the processes, Peter Obi sued on his own personal capacity as a candidate. So Labour Party may decide to withdraw, but Peter Obi will not withdraw from the case. Labour Party, under the faction led by Apapa, could decide to withdraw, because that's what the whole thing is going to right now. Now let us look at number B question, number B condition for which an election may be challenged. The election can be challenged by 134 section 1B. The election will be challenged if the election was invalid by reason of corrupt practices and non-compliance with the provisions of the Act. Of course, these are some of the conditions that Peter Obi itemized in his challenge of the election of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And C, the respondent who was not duly elected by the majority of the lawful votes cast in the election. On the issue, are you getting it? Now, Peter Obi also challenged the election of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, that he didn't have the majority of the lawful votes cast. So Peter Obi followed this particular sequence. And if you look at all this sequence, section 134 1 of the Electoral Act 2022. These three, A, B, and C, Peter Obi met all these conditions. If you didn't meet these conditions, if Peter Obi had gone there and been asking about the vote of Atiku Abubakar, who didn't win the election, or the votes allocated to PDP that didn't win the election, his application would be invalid. So he followed the due process. So he has no need to put PDP into the picture or ask about the vote of the PDP. What has to be invalidated is the vote of the person that won the election. And that is what Electoral Act say you should come and ask for in the courts. Okay? You have to question the person whose election was validated by the INEC. So that's what you are questioning. You are not questioning the person who came second. The person who came second is immaterial to you. If you came third or fourth, it is to invalidate that his election and then tell the court why you think that you are the rightful person to be there to win the election. Because when you are challenging that he was not duly elected by the majority of the vote cast, means you are questioning the votes that was allocated to him. By the time those votes are properly tabulated, you will overtake him. That's what you are telling the court. Then, of course, you are challenging that the election was invalid by reason of corrupt practices, like INEC saying that they will transmit the results electronically, or INEC failing to transmit the presidential election results, but was able to transmit from the beavers the senatorial and House of Reps election that was done on the same minute, the same second, the same hour, the same day. So that's an example of malpractices or corruption. So those are the conditions. But Arabambi don't know all these things, because if he did, he wouldn't have been asking about Peter Obi not challenging the vote of another loser based on the INEC results, PDP and Atiku Abubakar. Then on the issue of call for an interim government, I have never heard anywhere where Peter Obi has ever called for an interim government, or even the main Labour Party led by Abure have ever called that they want an interim government. The people that started this issue of interim government and that brought it into the political lexicon in this particular transition period was the All Progressive Congress themselves. You remember the video you watched, one of the videos you watched, you see Malam Nasru El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, in a state broadcast before the election, accuse people in the presidency, who are obviously APC members, of plotting to scuttle the election so that there will be an interim government. And he said that they have even penciled down a general, a retired general, to be the head of the interim government. And you know, at that time, the presidency denied that accusation vehemently. But where did the word came from? In 2007, when there was going to be a transition between Obasanjo to the next government, did you hear the word interim government? I can bet you didn't hear the word interim government. When Obasanjo was transitioning from his party to the next government, because nobody in PDP ever raised the issue that Yaradua, who was being transitioned to, that there was an interim, there was a plot to have an interim government. Nobody had that word. When PDP was transitioning from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan in 2015 to the APC, nobody had the word that there may be interim government. It was only the APC themselves that brought the issue of interim government that is now being discussed as an issue. So APC have themselves to blame, and their governors who accuse those in the presidency of doing behind the interim government. And if you listen to the speech by Nasru El-Rufai he made reference, said that these are the people who are plotting the interim government from the presidency are those who lost out in the APC presidential primaries, which produced Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Are those people Labour Party members? Even after the election, those who are talking about the interim government have never been people from the Labour Party. From all I have seen and heard, those ones are non-governmental organizations or some ordinary Nigerians who are on the street for some time ago that call for an interim government. And the government responded by saying that there is nothing like that it will not happen. The president have said that nothing will stop the handing over of to the next administration. So that is clear. So it was the APC that brought the interim government that is now haunting them, and not Labour Party, and not even the PDP. They were the ones that talk about that there are people in their party who are plotting interim government. Those people, have they changed their mind? Have they been cleansed of their desire for interim government? Those people that El-Rufai accused in the presidency, have they changed their mind? Have they repented from that call? Those should be the concern of the APC, and including even the faction of the Labour Party that is talking about that they want to scuttle Asiwaju's inauguration with interim government. Okay? So it's as simple as that. It's APC that started it. And it's not only Madam Nasir El-Rufai. If you go and check, can go and Google it, even the governor of, outgoing governor of Kano State, Ganduje, he also accused the presidency of plotting an interim government. You can go and check it out. So these are all APC people. So I don't know why Labour Party has now thrown itself, Labour Party faction, led by Apapa, has thrown itself into a matter that is obviously the brainchild of the APC. From what Nasir El-Rufai said in that broadcast. And that broadcast is for the records. It is for the records. Now, another this thing is that the latest, recently, residents and voters of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, they went to court to stop the swearing in of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, but those people, they did not say that they were acting on behalf of Peter Obi or on behalf of Labour Party. They were, if you read the summons that submitted to the High Court, they said that they are acting on themselves and on behalf of voters, registered voters and residents of the FCT. And then they put a caveat, excluding those who excluded themselves, that they are not part of the residents and voters that went to court. So if you don't agree with them, you are already excluded from the suit. You can say, okay, I'm a resident in Abuja, but I don't support this suit. They have excluded you. If you come to the court now to say, why are they suing that you are not part of it? They have already excluded you from the suit. You have no business going there to go and protest. Okay? And there is nowhere in the suit. I have gone through the court papers. There was nowhere they called for an interim government, this particular Abuja residents and registered voters. There was nowhere they called for an interim government. Instead, what they asked for was a declaration by the court to invoke Section 135, Section 1A, which is a declaration that President Muhammad Buhari should not, if there is nobody to be sworn in based on the February 25 presidential election, that Buhari's administration has to continue to be running, it subsists. That's what they are demanding. They are not calling for an interim government. They're only calling for Buhari administration to continue. If there is nobody to be sworn in or met the condition of Section 134, Subsection 2B of the 1999 Constitution, which stipulates that for anybody to be declared president-elect of the country, he must have majority of the votes cast. He must get 25% in 2/3 of the states of the federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. That was their demand. They didn't call for an interim government. That is the only one I know now that formally has called for a stoppage in the swearing-in of Asiwaju Bola and Tinubu. And they have nothing to do with Labour Party led by Abure or with the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.